I actually forgot to mention this for the video, but for Act 1 to Act 3, you first need to get adaptive capability. Then by Act 3, you need to get integrated efficiency. Now we can start the video. Hello, hello. This will be my build for Gemling Legionnaire. If you're going to choose to spec into Gemling Legionnaire, you must go elemental damage. From the classes available, comboing with magic is superior than speccing into pure physical. So why Gemling Legionnaire? You basically have the utility of the mercenary and the damage of a sorceress. This build is mainly focused around ad clearing, but doesn't mean it lacks boss damage. The single target damage it does is insane on its own, so there's no need to build around it. Boss fights are mainly a mechanic check rather than a DPS check, except for one boss. But even then, you will have enough DPS to not even worry about it. The reason why we're going elemental is because of Herald of Thunder. This is a spirit ability which you can gain access somewhere between the end of Act 1 and Act 2 when you get your first 30 spirit passive. The clear speed you get with galvanized shards is kind of crazy. So you combine Herald of Thunder with galvanized shards. The second reason is Flame Wall. So we'll basically pair this with gas grenades and will be our tool to kill bosses. Like I said, you don't need to spec into this because the damage it does is already more than sufficient to destroy bosses. The curses are there as a bonus to lower enemy resistances to our elemental attacks. Gas grenades with the corrosion gem also allows us to strip armor for utility. The gameplay for this spec is mainly just a point and click adventure. Everything in front of you dies. For special enemies and bosses, use permafrost bolts for crowd control and activate flame wall to start blasting gas grenades to deal tons of damage. Debuffing enemies with hypothermia is more practical than lowering their fire resistance. The APM of activating flame wall and then flammability into gas grenades just takes way too much time. First, we complete all the projectile damage all the way down to ricochet. Then we branch out to more projectile damage for heavy ammunition and careful aim. And then we branch out further into the archery to get vile wounds and clean shot. And then after that, by mid Act 2, you should be able to branch down to get critical hit chance, then into lightning damage. And then by Act 3, you should branch further down to spec into reload speed and then grenade damage. You can save this for later, but I chose to take it now. It's best to get the utility first before branching into elemental attack damage, and then we branch further down to the crossbow section of the tree. I haven't unlocked this yet, but as for my pathing, I would prioritize this line first and then get these two, and then branch further in to get the rest. Because Power Shots has reduced attack speed, I suggest going into this portion of the tree next. This increases our attack speed to compensate for the attack speed loss, and also as utility to blind enemies. Only get sand in the eyes, don't get blinding flash. That's pretty much the main upgrades you need to go for. From this point on, you can spec more into sustain through this tree, or you can spec more into damage by going for projectile speed and increased inflicting ailment chance with projectiles. You can also go shrapnel for ricochet, or you can go for more crit rate at the bottom. Or if you want to spec more into boss killing, you can actually go further down from this tree where the reload speed is and go for more grenade damage.
Need more mana.